The most haunted lighthouse in the United States, perched atop jagged cliffs, battered by relentless waves and cloaked in a perpetual mist, stands the most haunted lighthouse in the United States, a solitary sentinel whose light has guided sailors to safety for over a century. Yet beneath its weathered exterior lies a chilling legacy of tragedy, mystery, and unexplainable phenomena that have earned it a reputation as one of the nation's most paranormal landmarks. This lighthouse is not merely a relic of maritime history, it is a place where time seems to bend, where the boundary between the living and the dead blurs, and where whispers from the past echo through its hollow halls. From ghostly apparitions to disembodied voices, the tales surrounding this iconic structure are as varied as they are terrifying. Visitors report flickering lights that defy logic, cold spots that send shivers down their spines, and an overwhelming sense of being watched, even when no one else is present. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures pacing the lantern room late at night, while others recount hearing footsteps reverberating through empty corridors or the mournful cries of unseen entities carried on the wind. These accounts are not isolated incidents but part of a pattern of haunting activity that has persisted for decades, leaving those who dare to step inside questioning their own sanity. What sets this lighthouse apart from other allegedly haunted locations is the sheer intensity of its paranormal manifestations. Unlike places where subtle anomalies might go unnoticed, here the supernatural presence is palpable, almost aggressive in its insistence on being acknowledged. It is said that the spirits residing within these walls are not content to linger quietly in the shadows. They demand attention, often manifesting in ways that leave witnesses shaken and searching for answers. Whether it's the spectral figure of a long-dead keeper wandering the grounds, the faint scent of salt water permeating rooms far from the sea, or inexplicable mechanical failures that disrupt modern equipment, the lighthouse refuses to be ignored. As we delve deeper into the darkened recesses of this haunted beacon, prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. A world where reality bends under the weight of history and the supernatural feels disturbingly close. Through personal testimonies, documented encounters, and expert analysis, we will explore the origins of its haunting, unravel the mysteries that shroud its storied past, and confront the lingering questions that continue to haunt those brave enough to seek the truth. This is more than just a story about a haunted lighthouse. It's a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unexplained and our unwavering desire to understand what lies beyond the veil. The historical tapestry of the haunted lighthouse. To truly grasp the haunting aura that envelopes this lighthouse, one must first peer into its storied past, a mosaic of triumph, tragedy, and despair that has shaped its identity as a beacon of both salvation and sorrow. Constructed in the early 19th century, the lighthouse was originally built to guide mariners navigating treacherous waters along the rugged coastline of the United States. Its towering silhouette became a lifeline for countless ships traversing the storm-laden seas, yet its foundation rested upon land steeped in centuries of hardship and loss. The site chosen for the lighthouse was not arbitrary. It had long been revered, and feared, by indigenous peoples who once called the region home. Oral traditions passed down through generations spoke of the cliffs as a sacred burial ground, a place where spirits of the departed were said to gather before embarking on their final journey. Legends warned of restless souls who roamed the area, their ethereal cries carried by the howling winds. While settlers dismissed these tales as superstition, the tragic events that unfolded in the years following the lighthouse's construction seemed to lend credence to the ancient warnings. One of the earliest recorded tragedies occurred shortly after the lighthouse began operation. In 1837, during a violent nor'easter, the original keeper, Thomas Whitaker, vanished without a trace. His logbook, discovered days later, contained frantic entries describing strange noises emanating from the tower. "A knocking, like someone trying to get in," he wrote, and visions of shadowy figures appearing in the lantern room. Search parties combed the surrounding cliffs and shoreline but found no sign of Whitaker, save for his oil-stained coat snagged on jagged rocks below. Local lore claims that Whitaker's spirit never left the lighthouse, doomed to patrol its corridors in eternal vigilance. Decades later, another catastrophic event further entrenched the lighthouse's haunted reputation. On a fateful night in 1902, a fire broke out in the keeper's quarters, consuming much of the wooden structure and claiming the lives of 3 members of the Winslow family, including 2 young children. Witnesses reported seeing flames dance unnaturally, as if fueled by an unseen force, and hearing anguished screams that continued even after the blaze was extinguished. To this day, visitors speak of feeling overwhelming waves of sadness near the rebuilt quarters, accompanied by the faint sound of children laughing or crying, an eerie reminder of the innocent lives lost. Beyond individual tragedies, the lighthouse bore witness to broader historical upheavals, each leaving its mark on the site's spectral legacy. During the Civil War, the structure served as a makeshift lookout post, its strategic position making it a target for skirmishes between Union and Confederate forces. Accounts from soldiers stationed there describe eerie encounters with phantom comrades who appeared and disappeared without explanation, leading many to believe the cliffs were haunted by the ghosts of fallen fighters. Artifacts recovered during renovations in the 1960s, including rusted bayonets and tattered uniforms, only deepened the sense of unease surrounding the property. Even the natural environment played a role in shaping the lighthouse's foreboding atmosphere. The isolation of its location, accessible only by boat or a perilous hike through dense forests, contributed to a pervasive sense of solitude and vulnerability. Shipwrecks were a common occurrence along this stretch of coast, earning it the grim nickname, Shipwreck Alley. Bodies washed ashore were often buried hastily in unmarked graves near the lighthouse, adding to the layers of unresolved grief saturating the soil. Locals whispered of spectral ships appearing on the horizon, their ghostly crews calling out for help, only to vanish into the mist moments later. Architecturally, the lighthouse itself holds secrets that amplify its haunting allure. Built using stones salvaged from a nearby abandoned church, the structure carries with it fragments of another era's spiritual energy. Cracks in the masonry seem to pulse with an unnatural warmth during certain times of the year, while spiral staircases twist so tightly they disorient even seasoned visitors. Many believe these features act as conduits for residual energy, trapping echoes of the past within the building's very bones. These historical threads weave together to form a tapestry rich with sorrow and mystery, setting the stage for the supernatural phenomena that would come to define the lighthouse. Each brick, each beam, and each shadow bears the imprint of those who came before, their joys, their sorrows, and their untimely ends. Together, they create an atmosphere where the line between history and legend blurs, inviting both reverence and dread. As we peel back the layers of this haunted landmark, we uncover not just a structure but a living monument to the enduring power of memory and the unyielding pull of the unknown. Documented encounters and unexplained phenomena. The haunted lighthouse is not merely a repository of folklore and hearsay. It stands as a veritable epicenter of documented paranormal activity. Its storied halls echoing with incidents too numerous and too peculiar to dismiss as mere coincidence. Over the decades, countless reports of apparitions, disembodied sounds, and inexplicable movements have been meticulously catalogued, painting a vivid portrait of a place perpetually teetering on the edge of the supernatural. These accounts, bolstered by physical evidence and corroborated by multiple witnesses, serve as undeniable proof of the lighthouse's otherworldly inhabitants. Among the most frequently reported phenomena is the appearance of a spectral figure known locally as the Watcher. Described by eyewitnesses as a tall, gaunt man dressed in tattered 19th-century clothing, the Watcher is said to pace the lantern room at night, his translucent form illuminated by the dim glow of the moon. In 1987, a group of tourists visiting the lighthouse captured a photograph that would later gain notoriety, a grainy image showing a shadowy silhouette standing in the lantern room, despite the fact that no one was supposed to be inside at the time. Subsequent investigations revealed no rational explanation for the figure's presence, and similar sightings have been reported by staff and visitors alike ever since. Equally unsettling are the disembodied sounds that plague the premises. Tour guides recount hearing footsteps ascending the spiral staircase when no one is present, while maintenance workers describe the unmistakable clang of metal tools dropping onto the floor, though none were in use. One particularly harrowing incident occurred in 2005, when a volunteer cleaning crew working late at night heard a blood-curdling scream emanate from the keeper's quarters. Rushing to investigate, they found the room empty and undisturbed, yet the air was thick with the metallic tang of smoke, a stark reminder of the devastating fire that claimed the Winslow family nearly a century earlier. Audio recordings taken during subsequent paranormal investigations have captured EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, featuring fragmented phrases such as, "help me," and "get out," lending credence to the belief that trapped spirits still cry out from beyond the grave. Objects, moving seemingly of their own accord, represent another recurring theme in the lighthouse's haunted repertoire. Items left untouched on desks or shelves have been found relocated, sometimes appearing in entirely different rooms. In 2012, a curator tasked with organizing the Lighthouse Museum reported that several antique items displayed behind locked glass cases had shifted positions overnight, despite the locks remaining intact and no signs of forced entry. Security footage reviewed the following morning showed nothing unusual, yet the curator swore she saw a faint shimmer, a distortion resembling heat waves, hovering near the display cases moments before the objects moved. Such incidents have become so commonplace that employees now refer to them as poltergeist episodes, though attempts to replicate the phenomenon under controlled conditions have consistently failed. Cold spots, sudden temperature drops that defy environmental logic, are another hallmark of the lighthouse's paranormal activity. Visitors often remark on feeling icy drafts in areas far removed from windows or doors, accompanied by an oppressive sense of dread. Thermal imaging cameras deployed during investigations have detected significant temperature fluctuations in specific zones, particularly near the base of the spiral staircase and in the keeper's quarters. These cold spots are often accompanied by faint whispers or the sensation of being touched, leaving individuals visibly shaken. Perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence comes from a 2018 investigation conducted by a team of paranormal researchers equipped with advanced technology. Using a combination of infrared cameras, EMF detectors, and motion sensors, the team spent 3 nights documenting activity within the lighthouse. Their findings included footage of a shadowy figure darting across the lantern room, audible groans emanating from empty corridors, and inexplicable electromagnetic spikes concentrated around the keeper's logbook, a relic believed to contain cryptic messages from Thomas Whitaker himself. The culmination of their efforts was a chilling EVP recording captured in the basement, a woman's voice, clear and deliberate, whispering, "Leave us alone." While skeptics may attribute these occurrences to psychological effects or environmental quirks, the sheer volume and consistency of the reports make such explanations untenable. For every skeptic dismissing the phenomena as tricks of the mind, there exists a counterweight of credible testimony and tangible evidence pointing to something far more profound. Photographs, videos, and audio recordings offer glimpses into a realm that defies conventional understanding, challenging observers to reconcile the seen with the unseen. Together, these documented encounters form a tapestry of terror that transcends individual experiences, creating a collective narrative of fear and fascination. They remind us that the lighthouse is not merely a structure but a vessel for energies that refuse to fade, carrying with them the weight of untold stories and unresolved mysteries. As we sift through the evidence, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the haunting of this lighthouse is not a matter of speculation, it is a lived reality, etched into the fabric of its existence and indelibly imprinted on all who dare to cross its threshold. Personal testimonies for those who have walked the creaking floors and scaled the winding stairs of the haunted lighthouse. The supernatural is not a distant concept relegated to campfire tales or urban legends, it is a visceral reality, an intimate intrusion into their daily lives. The personal testimonies shared by visitors, staff, and volunteers reveal a kaleidoscope of emotions ranging from terror and confusion to sorrow and defiance. These first-hand accounts paint a vivid picture of what it means to live, work, or simply visit a place where the boundaries between worlds blur unpredictably. Take, for instance, Emily Carter, a seasonal tour guide whose initial skepticism about the lighthouse's haunting quickly gave way to unease. On her 3rd week on the job, Emily was conducting an evening tour for a small group when she felt an inexplicable chill sweep over her as they entered the keeper's quarters. "It was like walking into a freezer," she recalls, her voice trembling slightly. "But what really got me was the smell, this overwhelming stench of burning wood, even though there hadn't been a fire anywhere near the building in decades." Moments later, one of her guests screamed, pointing to the ceiling where a dark, smoky haze seemed to swirl above them. Though the haze dissipated within seconds, Emily noticed something even more unsettling. The faces of everyone in the group reflected pure terror, yet none could explain why. That night, unable to shake the feeling of being followed, Emily returned home only to find her reflection in the mirror distorted, her eyes blackened and hollow. She quit her job the next day, convinced that whatever lingered in the lighthouse had marked her somehow. Then there's Mark Holloway, a retired engineer who volunteered to assist with restoration efforts during the summer of 2016. A pragmatic man by nature, Mark initially dismissed talk of ghosts as nonsense until he experienced something he couldn't rationalize. Late one afternoon, while inspecting the lantern room, he heard what sounded like heavy boots stomping up the spiral staircase. "I thought maybe one of the other volunteers had forgotten something," he explains. "But when I looked down, no one was there. And then I felt it, this hand ice cold, gripping my shoulder." Frozen in place, Mark turned slowly, half expecting to see someone behind him. Instead, he was met with emptiness. The encounter left him physically ill, and for weeks afterward, he suffered from vivid nightmares of drowning in icy water, waking each morning drenched in sweat. Though Mark eventually resumed his duties, he admits that he avoids the lantern room at all costs, convinced that the entity responsible for the touch remains there, watching and waiting. Not all experiences are overtly malevolent, however. Sarah Langley, a marine biologist conducting research near the lighthouse, recounts an oddly tender moment that has stayed with her ever since. During a quiet evening spent cataloging specimens in the basement laboratory, Sarah felt a gentle tug on her sleeve, as if someone were trying to get her attention. Turning around, she saw nothing, but then, out of the corner of her eye, she caught sight of a young girl in a tattered dress standing near the doorway. The child smiled softly before vanishing into thin air. Shaken but intrigued, Sarah later learned from local historians that 2 of the Winslow children perished in the 1902 fire, their bodies never recovered. "It wasn't scary, exactly," Sarah reflects. "More sad. Like she just wanted someone to notice her." Since that night, Sarah has returned to the lighthouse multiple times, drawn by a mix of curiosity and compassion, though she remains cautious, aware that not all spirits are benign. These personal testimonies extend beyond fleeting encounters, leaving lasting imprints on the psyches of those involved. For Emily, the experience triggered a prolonged bout of anxiety, forcing her to seek therapy to cope with intrusive thoughts and hypervigilance. "I feel like I'm always looking over my shoulder now," she confides. "Even in broad daylight, I can't shake the feeling that something, or someone, is right behind me." Similarly, Mark struggles with survivor's guilt, questioning whether he inadvertently disturbed the resting place of those entombed within the lighthouse's walls. "Part of me wonders if I deserved what happened," he muses. "Like maybe I crossed some invisible line I didn't know existed." Sarah, on the other hand, channels her connection to the supernatural into advocacy, urging others to approach the lighthouse with respect rather than fear. "People think it's just about ghosts and ghouls," she says, "but it's so much deeper than that. These are real people who lived and died here, and their stories deserve to be told, not exploited." Her perspective underscores a growing sentiment among frequent visitors that the haunting serves as both a warning and an invitation, demanding acknowledgement of the tragedies that shaped the lighthouse's history. Yet, the emotional toll of these encounters cannot be overstated. Conversations among staff and volunteers often revolve around coping strategies, ranging from protective rituals like carrying salt packets or sage bundles to forming informal support groups where experiences can be shared without judgment. Despite these efforts, the weight of the unknown lingers, manifesting in sleepless nights, heightened paranoia, and an ever-present awareness of the unseen. Ultimately, the personal testimonies collected from those who interact with the haunted lighthouse reveal a complex interplay of fear, empathy, and resilience. While the specifics of each encounter vary widely, they share a common thread: the undeniable presence of something beyond the realm of human comprehension. For some, the haunting represents a confrontation with mortality. For others, it serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of memory. Regardless of interpretation, one truth remains constant: the lighthouse does not simply exist, it endures, holding fast to the echoes of its past and beckoning those brave enough to listen. Paranormal investigations and public reactions. The enigmatic nature of the haunted lighthouse has long attracted the attention of paranormal investigators, amateur enthusiasts, and media outlets eager to uncover its secrets. Armed with cutting-edge technology and insatiable curiosity, these explorers have ventured into the heart of the lighthouse's darkest corners, seeking tangible evidence of the supernatural forces that purportedly inhabit its walls. Their findings, while diverse, consistently point to the presence of unexplained phenomena, sparking both fascination and debate among the public. One of the most notable investigations took place in 2009, led by the renowned paranormal research team Spectral Seekers. Equipped with thermal imaging cameras, electromagnetic field (EMF) detectors, and digital audio recorders, the group conducted a series of overnight sweeps throughout the lighthouse. Among their most compelling discoveries was a dramatic spike in EMF readings near the keeper's quarters, a location already infamous for its association with the 1902 fire. While skeptics might argue that such anomalies could stem from outdated wiring or environmental interference, the patterns observed were inconsistent with typical sources of electromagnetic emissions. Furthermore, the team captured thermal footage showing a humanoid figure descending the spiral staircase, its form radiating an unusually low temperature compared to the surrounding environment. Attempts to replicate the effect using props or staged scenarios proved unsuccessful, leaving investigators baffled. Audio recordings from the same expedition yielded equally intriguing results. During an EVP session held in the basement laboratory, researchers asked a series of direct questions to any potential spirits present. Among the responses was a faint but distinct reply. "Still here." The voice, female and tinged with sorrow, appeared to emanate from nowhere, as no living person was nearby at the time. Subsequent analysis revealed additional layers of sound, including what sounded like faint sobbing and the rhythmic ticking of a clock, despite the absence of any timepieces in the vicinity. These auditory anomalies align with reports from visitors who claim to have encountered the spectral figure of a grieving mother or the disembodied laughter of children, lending credibility to the idea that residual energy continues to resonate within the structure. In recent years, advancements in drone technology have enabled investigators to explore previously inaccessible areas of the lighthouse. A 2021 investigation conducted by a student-led paranormal club utilized drones equipped with high-definition cameras and motion sensors to monitor activity across multiple levels simultaneously. One of the most striking moments occurred in the lantern room, where a motion-activated camera captured a shadowy figure pacing back and forth. Upon reviewing the footage, investigators noted that the figure moved with unnatural speed and disappeared through a solid wall. Similar attempts to recreate the phenomenon using visual effects or staged actors failed to produce comparable results, deepening the mystery. Public reactions to these investigations have been polarized, reflecting broader societal attitudes toward the paranormal. For many locals and tourists, the findings serve as validation of their own experiences, fostering a sense of community among those who feel misunderstood or dismissed. Social media platforms buzz with comments from viewers sharing their own stories, creating a virtual support network for individuals affected by the lighthouse's haunting. Meanwhile, televised specials and documentaries have amplified interest, transforming the landmark into a pilgrimage site for thrill-seekers and ghost hunters alike. During peak seasons, lines of visitors stretch around the property, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural for themselves. However, critics remain skeptical, arguing that the use of advanced technology can sometimes amplify confirmation bias, with investigators interpreting ambiguous data as definitive proof of the paranormal. Some academics caution against conflating correlation with causation, pointing out that phenomena such as infrasound or environmental factors could account for many reported occurrences. Others question the ethical implications of commercializing a site steeped in tragedy, warning that sensationalism risks overshadowing the historical significance of the lighthouse and trivializing the suffering of those who perished there. Despite differing perspectives, the impact of these investigations on public perception cannot be overstated. Media coverage has brought national attention to the lighthouse, elevating its status as a cultural icon and drawing comparisons to other legendary haunted sites across the globe. Local businesses capitalize on the intrigue, offering themed tours, merchandise, and immersive experiences designed to cater to the growing appetite for the macabre. Ghost hunting workshops and paranormal conventions have become annual fixtures, attracting thousands of attendees eager to learn the latest techniques and tools for exploring the unknown. Yet, for those who call the lighthouse home, whether as caretakers, historians, or volunteers, the influx of outsiders brings a complex mix of pride and apprehension. While some welcome the spotlight as a means of legitimizing their experiences, others worry about the exploitation of sensitive sites and the disruption caused by large crowds. Concerns have been raised about damage to fragile artifacts and the potential disturbance of unmarked graves scattered across the property. Historical preservationists express frustration over how the focus on the paranormal detracts from efforts to preserve the lighthouse's architectural integrity and educational value. Ultimately, the investigations into this haunted landmark underscore humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. Whether viewed as scientific inquiry or sensational spectacle, these efforts reflect our insatiable desire to confront the boundaries of our understanding, and perhaps, to find solace in the idea that we are not alone, even in death. As researchers continue to probe the mysteries of the lighthouse, its haunting legacy grows richer, inviting both awe and introspection. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, a beacon not just of light but of wonder, reminding us that some truths may forever elude capture, existing instead in the spaces between the seen and the unseen. Rational explanations and lingering mysteries. The pervasive aura of the supernatural that envelopes the haunted lighthouse invites scrutiny not only from paranormal enthusiasts, but also from the scientific community. Researchers and skeptics alike have sought to dissect the myriad phenomena reported within its walls, employing rigorous methodologies to determine whether rational explanations can account for the seemingly inexplicable. While some incidents lend themselves to plausible interpretations rooted in physics, psychology, or environmental factors, others stubbornly resist conventional logic, leaving room for speculation and wonder. One widely accepted explanation for many of the reported phenomena is infrasound, a low-frequency sound wave below the threshold of human hearing. Studies have demonstrated that exposure to infrasound can induce feelings of unease, anxiety, and even hallucinations, mimicking the sensations often described by witnesses during alleged paranormal encounters. The lighthouse's aging infrastructure, particularly its ventilation systems and structural materials, could inadvertently produce these frequencies, creating an environment ripe for misinterpretation. For example, the cold spots, frequently reported in the keeper's quarters and lantern room, might stem from localized drafts or temperature fluctuations caused by poorly insulated walls and windows. Similarly, the sensation of being watched, an experience commonly cited by visitors, could result from subliminal cues processed by the brain, such as subtle changes in lighting or peripheral movement triggered by mundane sources like swaying trees or passing wildlife. Psychological factors also play a significant role in shaping perceptions of the paranormal. The power of suggestion, combined with the lighthouse's storied history, primes individuals to interpret ambiguous stimuli as supernatural occurrences. Cognitive biases, such as pareidolia, the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns in random data, can lead people to mistake ordinary sights, sounds, or sensations for ghostly manifestations. For instance, the shadowy figures captured on security footage or thermal imaging cameras may simply be distortions caused by lens flares, reflections, or heat signatures from nearby electronics. Likewise, anecdotal accounts of disembodied voices or footsteps could arise from confirmation bias, wherein individuals selectively recall details that align with pre-existing beliefs about the haunted nature of the location. Environmental conditions further complicate the analysis. The lighthouse's geographic setting, surrounded by crashing waves and exposed to harsh coastal weather, contributes to elevated humidity levels and fluctuating barometric pressure, factors known to influence human perception and behavior. Sudden shifts in atmospheric conditions can exacerbate feelings of discomfort or dread, amplifying the likelihood of perceiving anomalous events. Additionally, the presence of decaying organic matter beneath the soil, remnants of shipwrecks and unmarked graves, releases gases such as methane and hydrogen sulfide, which can produce odors reminiscent of smoke or decay. These olfactory cues, coupled with visual and auditory anomalies, create a multisensory experience that reinforces the illusion of hauntings. Ultimately, the interplay between scientific inquiry and unexplained phenomena underscores the complexity of the lighthouse's haunting. While rational explanations provide valuable insights into the mechanisms underlying many reported incidents, they fail to fully account for the depth and diversity of experiences documented over the years. This gap between what can be measured and what remains intangible fuels ongoing debate, inviting both skepticism and fascination. As researchers continue to probe the boundaries of knowledge, the Haunted Lighthouse stands as a testament to the enduring mystery of the human experience, a place where science meets the unknown, and where questions often outnumber answers. Coping mechanisms and community support. Living and working within the spectral embrace of the Haunted Lighthouse demands resilience, creativity, and a strong sense of community. For staff, volunteers, and regular visitors, adapting to the omnipresent specter of the supernatural has become a way of life, one marked by unique coping mechanisms, proactive measures, and mutual support systems designed to foster a sense of safety and belonging. From ritualistic practices to organized initiatives, the lighthouse community has developed innovative strategies to navigate the challenges posed by their otherworldly surroundings. One of the most widespread methods of self-protection among staff and volunteers is the use of cleansing rituals borrowed from various cultural traditions. Sage smudging ceremonies, for instance, have gained popularity as a means of purifying spaces and creating a barrier against negative energies. Many employees swear by this practice, claiming that burning bundles of dried sage helps alleviate feelings of unease and reduces the frequency of unsettling occurrences. Similarly, salt lines, a protective measure rooted in folklore, are often placed along doorways and windowsills, believed to ward off malevolent entities. These rituals, while symbolic, offer psychological comfort, empowering individuals to reclaim a sense of control over their environment. Volunteers, too, employ practical measures to mitigate the impact of paranormal activity on their responsibilities. Some choose to avoid scheduling tasks in historically active areas during late-night hours, opting instead for well-lit, heavily trafficked sections of the lighthouse. Others incorporate elements of humor or storytelling into their interactions with visitors, framing ghostly encounters as quirky traditions rather than sources of fear. For example, a tour guide might recount tales of shipwrecks or Civil War skirmishes during lectures, subtly normalizing the idea of spectral presences as extensions of the landmark's rich heritage. This approach not only diffuses tension but also fosters a shared narrative that binds the community together. As we draw the curtains on this exploration of the most haunted lighthouse in the United States, it becomes evident that the essence of this landmark transcends its physical structure and historical significance. It is a place where time seems to stand still, where the boundary between the living and the dead blurs, and where whispers from the past echo through its hollow halls. The myriad stories and documented encounters paint a vivid picture of a beacon alive with echoes from another realm, each flicker of light and shadow a testament to the timeless dance between the seen and the unseen. This haunted lighthouse stands not just as a relic of maritime history but as a profound symbol of the human condition, our fears, curiosities, and relentless quest for understanding. It challenges us to peer beyond the veil of the ordinary and consider the vast, uncharted territories of existence. Here, every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lantern, and every whispered name in the dead of night serves as a reminder of the thin boundary that separates our world from the mysteries that lie just beyond. And delving into the myriad tales of apparitions and eerie occurrences, we uncover more than just ghost stories. We find reflections of our deepest anxieties and hopes, mirrored in the haunted halls of this venerable structure. The courage displayed by those who walk these grounds daily inspires a deeper appreciation for the resilience of the human spirit. They remind us that bravery is not the absence of fear but the triumph over it, choosing to seek knowledge and understanding even when faced with the incomprehensible. Thus, as we close this chapter on the haunted legacy of the United States' most paranormal lighthouse, let us carry forward the lessons gleaned from its shadowed corridors. Let us remember that while the supernatural may elude full comprehension, the pursuit of knowledge and the bonds of community empower us to face the unknown with both skepticism and awe. In the end, It is not merely the ghosts of the past that define this place, but the enduring spirit of those who dare to explore its mysteries, forging paths illuminated by the light of inquiry and camaraderie. Embracing the mysteries that bind you as the final echoes of this haunting tale reverberate through your mind, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude for joining me on this spine-chilling expedition into the heart of the most haunted lighthouse in the United States. Your curiosity and courage in exploring these shadowed corridors have made this journey all the more meaningful. It is through shared stories and collective wonder that we find connection, and I hope this article has sparked conversations, reflections, and perhaps even a few goosebumps along the way. If you've enjoyed stepping into the supernatural side of history with me today, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to my channel for more haunting tales, mysterious legends, and deep dives into the unexplained. Whether it's ghostly encounters, cursed locations, or forgotten folklore, there's always another story waiting to be uncovered, and I'd love for you to be part of it. And hey, don't be shy. Share your thoughts, experiences, or even your own spooky stories in the comments below. Have you ever felt the weight of the unseen? Walked through a place that sent shivers down your spine? Or maybe you've got a theory about the mysteries we've explored today. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. After all, storytelling is a two-way street, and your voice matters. Finally, if you're craving more haunted adventures, check out the links in the description for additional resources, recommended readings, and behind-the-scenes content. You can also follow me on social media for bite-sized doses of the paranormal and updates on upcoming videos. Together, we'll continue to peel back the layers of the unknown, one chilling tale at a time. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, the shadows are never as empty as they seem. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next story. Sleep tight, if you dare.